today's topic at hand, we'll dive into it later. Let's cut the music. Is going to be, do you believe in love at first sight? So before we dive into it, do you believe in love at first sight?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Ah, man, that's a tricky one. No.
You do not.
I mean, I don't think there's a heavy commitment, especially from me or people like me, guys that I know like me, because I don't know. It's just like we know commitment and the unknown is a big risk. So for us, logically, I don't think most men are going to believe in that, to be honest, because like I said before, I feel like we're logical creatures first and foremost, and then women are emotionally based. So I would say your answer is probably going to be you believe in it.
I don't.
You don't? Why is that?
When I was younger, I did. When I was younger, I definitely believed in, oh, I like this guy. I love him. We're going to get married. Totally believed in that when I was younger. As I've gotten older, I've differentiated between lust and love. So I understand that you could be lust at first sight, but love at first sight, not so much.
Yeah, I would consider like a high passion. Like you could be like very infatuated. So I would say like there could be a strong infatuation in the beginning. I wouldn't call it love. I guess it can be lust and infatuation. Is it the same thing maybe? I mean, what do you think?
No, I don't think it's the same thing. I think that you could be, well, let's answer it like this as a man, okay? I'm going to play devil's advocate here. So a man can be really into a woman, right? Like really like her, want to do the deed with her. And then there's this thing called post-nut clarity, correct?
Post-nut clarity.
Have you heard of this terminology?
Yes. I haven't heard it put that way, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
So
yes.
You could be completely into a girl, like her, want to get to know her, date her, have all that intention, and then you do the deed, and then everything is drained, and you're all of a sudden like, I don't know if I want to see this person again. Would you say that that's something that happens to men?
I'd say some men. Have you ever had a one night stand?
Yes.
Okay. And what was your thoughts during, before, and after your one night stand?
I can say that as I went in, I've had a couple one night stands in my early 20s. Okay. Settle down. I'm an adult now. I'm not saying that you can't do that. Just not for, I have a kid. But I went in with the intention of it is just, we're handling business. It is
right.
We're maintaining systems for launch, and once launch is commenced, all systems a go, and we have liftoff, and that's it. You can no longer return to the space station. It's all used up and done. Time to walk away.
So these so it was an officially like one night stand. There was no communication afterwards.
One of them, I've only had two or three. One of them did think that there was going to be more. He tried messaging me afterwards, but I just wasn't into that. And it's not that he was very attractive. He was very funny. But he was like a weird funny. Like I felt like I would be the type of person dating him that would have to explain his jokes. Like, oh, you didn't get it. Let me tell it again. And then I would make it funny. I don't know. I just like people that have like good sense of humor and like that are really witty. And I just felt like this person, and I could still picture this person in my mind. And he was like very attractive, but no. Yeah. It never took off from there.
So your one night stands were one sided though. Like, so I would say, I guess from your end, or how did it even come about? How did it even start? How do you guys go about? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have me. Okay, so like.
I'll tell you.
So you just made another point for me. You remember how I was saying in a previous podcast that sex is harder for men, easier for women? You had premeditated one night stands.
Yes.
And you had premeditated. So you knew going into it, hey, this could be a one night stand. But the other guy obviously didn't know what was going to happen. Now he can choose, the men can choose to make it a one night stand by not contacting you the next day, right?
Yeah.
But we don't go into these things thinking, oh, one night stand this person right here, but you guys do that.
Well, okay, it's different for a girl when we're doing stuff like that because we let it known. Like I told these people that I hooked up with, like, hey, I'm not looking for anything serious, but if you want to mess around, like I'm all about messing around. Okay. So I stated my intentions. I let them know, like, I might blow your mind here, but this is a one and done situation.
So who can have sex easier? The fact that you can't. So how many of you guys walked into a bar, saw a girl sitting at the bar, and you're like, hey, you know what? I'm not looking for anything, but let's me and you do the deed tonight and then call it bygones. That fucking shit doesn't happen. But you were able to do that.
Yes.
You know why? Because sex is easier for women.
I see your point. And would I 100% agree with you?
You have to now.
I just feel
you have to. You have to.
Okay, so when I was going out, you know, in my early 20s, going out and having fun with all my girlfriends who were beautiful and had a lot of things going for them, it was never like, oh, we're gonna go home and bring somebody home. It was never that. We never had those intentions. So usually when we had a one night stand, it was somebody that we friend zoned, somebody that we knew that we weren't gonna take further, you know, boyfriend material, whatever you want to call it. So we friend zoned them. So we felt comfortable enough to have a one night stand. Have I ever had a real one night stand where I've met somebody in a club and said, let's go back to my place? Never.
So is it a one night stand if you're sleeping with your friends? I don't think that's not a one night stand.
Well, it was one time. We had sex one time and then never did it again.
You fucked your friend once. That's what that is.
Okay.
That's not a.
So maybe I never had a one night stand then. Maybe though that's what I classified as a one night stand.
So you just had sex with like a buddy.
A buddy that I never talked to afterwards. Absolutely.
A buddy. So he was your friend before this thing.
No,
and then you didn't talk to him after
we
that?
met with the intention of like, let's get to know each other, date. And then something happened where I either got like the ick, wasn't into him, like the guy that I told you that wasn't really funny, that was trying to be funny. And I was like, I don't really see this going anywhere. But he was like a body to take to the club, go out, have a good time. And you know,
you capped it. Yeah.
And that was it. Like there was nothing further that I wanted. And like I said, that guy.
But you knew he would have sex.
I did.
See, I mean, we go out and we have wants. Right? We're like, hey man, I hope that something good happens tonight. We've got plans, and I know Zavi says he's premeditated. No, you planned. But we don't know if these plans are going to go off without a hitch or not. We're just swinging. We're swinging at every fucking pitch. And as long as we hit 50%, we feel like it was a successful night. But you knew it was going to go down. So like that just proves my point from the other podcast that women having sex is way easier than men. We gotta work at it.
When you're a classy lady, okay, you don't go into these one night stands like raw dogging it, okay? You got to shave your legs. You got to make sure that everything is like primed and ready to go. Okay. So if I'm going to have sex, I make sure that I'm ready to go. Like I'm like everything, all details are spit shined and ready to go. I'm not like a guy where I can just whip it out and go, come here, baby. Like, no, I have prep. There's prep that goes into this.
Right, but that makes it even worse because you guys know, hey, okay, today's the day. We're just going to pick some guy out of the herd and then we're going to get it down. And you know what's going to happen because you guys can bat 10 for 10 on the night if you wanted to.
Yes, if we wanted to, we could.
So women, it's easier for women. So now you agree.
Women can have sex easier than men. I agree.
Yeah, and I've got the same story. Like I will be somewhere, and Vegas is probably the worst about this. We'll just be at a bar with my friends, and then a random woman, literally in the night will just come up and say, hey, do you want to hook up or whatever? Like that stuff happens. Now, if men, I'm not saying men don't do that. Some men do that, but the success rate is definitely not as high as like when women do it.
Well, you just mentioned Vegas. So, like, if you're in Vegas, because a lot of people go to Vegas to party, right? There's strip clubs. There's a ton of clubs. Like, that's what Vegas is known for, the nightlife. Do you ever get worried, like, if somebody is trying to hook up with you, like, am I going to have to pay for this? Like, because I've heard that they, like, make you think that they're just some girl at the club and they're really a worker.
Maybe. I've never ran into that situation. I mean, they're all over the streets, but you could kind of tell who's who and what's what, and everything's pretty advertised. I mean, you can't walk down the fucking strip without getting handed 1,000 advertisements and cards. So I haven't had that happen to me. So I haven't had any issues with that at all. So I don't know. Maybe.
You just never had any issues? Like, you just have it like that where you can just go out?
No, I'm just saying I haven't like engaged with someone in Vegas and they're like, hey, by the way, this is the bill. You know what I'm saying? I've never had that happen. Yeah, not at all. So I'm sure it happens, but no.
There was a question that I wanted to ask you previously. So your first marriage that you had, was it a big wedding?
No, I did the courthouse.
You did the courthouse. Okay.
I did the courthouse. So the plan was to maybe do something. But like, man, see, it was one of those situations. I've talked about this before. It was one of those situations where she had been around a while and I thought she was loyal and we had been in each other's lives since we were 13. So we've known each other a very long time. Yeah. So I've known her for a very long time. We weren't together that whole time, but we'd known each other that whole time. There was always like a crush when we were younger. And then when we got to college, where like means and money wasn't a big deal, we can make some things happen, and then it progressed. So like, she had been there the whole time, and I just thought, you know what, she's loyal, she's been here, she's got to be a ride or die. And I knew that she wanted this thing, and she had proposed to me. And I was embarrassed for her in that moment. And I was like, oh my God, fuck. But then here goes that thing, right? Where I talked about, I don't want to hurt people's feelings. And like, so I felt like I just was like, fuck, man. I was like, well, if she would take it this far, if I'm the guy she chooses, then maybe it's worth it. Yeah. That's what I thought in my head. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to say any answer to what you're proposing to me right now. Let me do it the right way. So that's literally how I got like twisted into this thing. Like I should have never been married. That should have never happened to me, but that was completely my fault. And I just was trying to be a nice guy. And it wasn't that I didn't care about her. It's just like, she was not the one for that, like at all. Do
you think it's taboo if a woman does propose to a man? Like, do you think
I thought it was weird. Yeah, I thought it was weird. I thought that's not how it should be. I don't think. Okay. I don't think it's like anything particularly wrong with it. I just know that that's not common. That's not the social norm. So for me, I was kind of thrown back by it a little bit. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I've never, so you're going to learn something new here about me. So I've been engaged. Oh God, I can't even believe I'm going to say this out loud.
You've been engaged multiple times?
Yes, I've been engaged multiple times.
Wow.
I take that back. I've been proposed to multiple times. I've been engaged 3 times. 2 of them resulted in marriages. One of them I don't really even count. It was my high school sweetheart. He proposed to me like at school in front of like everybody. And I remember like this kid, I mean, he was, if there's any regrets that I have in my life as far as dating, it is this one person. It was very much the epitome of what you would think like innocent love is. Like, we very much loved each other a ton. And we dated, in high school, and he proposed to me. And I, in that moment, remember my life is set, like, and not in a good way. It wasn't like, my life is set, I found the love of my life, I'm going to live with this person forever. It was, oh my God, I'm never going, like, this is it. Like, I already found the person that I'm supposed to be married and have, like, it terrified me. And so I ended up like ending the relationship, and I ended it in a way that was not good. It was really bad. And it like abruptly ended, no longer talked as friends. We did get reacquainted as adults and tried to like talk to each other, but like the damage was already done. There was nothing there. But it terrified me because I was so young. I was 16, 17 when he proposed to me, and I was just like,
that's odd.
It was, but like both of us came from families from divorced parents, and we were both had like the same goal of where like we were not going to be divorced parents. We were going to find the love of our life and live a happily ever after. Very kid mindset of not knowing what adult responsibilities are.
Why'd you say yes then?
I loved him. I think part of me honestly kind of still does.
If you loved him, then why'd you say no?
Why did I end it? Because
yeah. Got her. Got her.
No, I think the reason, I know why I said yes, but I think the reason why I ended it is because it wasn't for a lack of love, because like I said, I love this person. I just, it is not how I foresaw like my life. I foresaw my life as like being something, like being independent and like and doing something. I knew I wanted to get married, but in that instance I was like, but wait, I want to go to college and I want to experience college. Right. And like and so it was the fear of like not having these experiences where I was like, no, I can't do it. And
that was my next question. Is that what kept you from going to college? Because like you had like these early onslaughts of like getting married at a young age and then starting life and all that stuff?
So the reason why I didn't go to college is I actually left high school my junior year. I had that very bad breakup. I responded really bad to it. And then my mom was a single parent, and I was the oldest, and she couldn't afford daycare. She just couldn't afford it. So my mom asked me to leave high school and to watch my siblings. So I left high school, got my GED, and I watched my two younger siblings, one of them that was a baby and one of them that was like 5 years old. And this is before social media. And so I just like dropped all my friends, and I would take the 5-year-old to school, and I would walk around with the baby, like just to be active. And my high school friends would see me walking around with these babies, and they 100% thought that I left high school because I got pregnant. I mean, it wasn't until MySpace came out where they were like, we thought you left because you got pregnant. I'm like, no, like my family needed me, and I sacrificed my junior and senior year to help my family, and I don't regret it. And after that, like after I'd done that for 2 years, I just immediately went into the work field. Like I got a job immediately, and it was a very good job. And I just didn't go to college.
Yeah. So, but you don't regret it, because like that was going to be my next question. Do you regret missing out on like your last 2 years of high school, kind of what that means for people to be seniors, going to your senior prom, graduating, walking, and then going to college, experiencing that life?
No, because I never experienced it, and there wasn't social media where people were like posting about it. So in my mind,
so
like,
you don't know what you're missing.
I have no idea what I missed. Didn't go to prom, didn't go to junior prom, like nothing, none of that stuff. But I don't regret it. Like my mom needed me, my family needed me, and that's what mattered in the moment.
Do what you got to do. Yeah. So understand that completely.
But like I did reach out. I reach out to him like every like 5 years, and I'm like, hey, just checking in, seeing how you're doing. And he'll like, oh, this is going on. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, good luck. And then that's it. And then we just hit the 5-year mark like 2 years ago, and I never reached out. So it's been like 7 years since we talked.
So what's the point of reaching out to him?
I feel guilty because he's never gotten married. And he's had like bad relationship after bad relationship, like his heart broken. And I think subconsciously, like I just feel bad. Even though it probably has nothing to do with me at all. I just feel bad.
You remember when we were talking about that one lady in the TikTok chat that said that her boyfriend just up and left all of a sudden out of the blue? And I was like, no, that's not what happened. You know, you probably did right by him, and he just felt really guilty, didn't want to break your heart, but he left, and he's probably going to check up on you.
Yeah.
Same deal right there, isn't it?
Oh, he does not check up on me at all. It is me.
No, but you left him.
Yes, I left him.
It's the same situation as this girl. He left her, and I was like, well, you treated him well, so he loves you. He still loves you. He cares about you. Yeah, so he's probably going to be checking in on you, but there's somebody else, and you probably weren't the one and all that stuff. So, but same exact fucking thing.
Yeah.
So my man is in the chat right now. I'm not going to tell you what his name is, but he sent me a long message in TikTok, and this is kind of what he was saying. So he had been talking to this girl for about 3 weeks, right? So this is gonna stem into another topic that we were probably gonna bring up at some point, and you kind of said it there in the beginning about friends, right? And I want to talk about, is there such thing as having platonic friends?
Okay.
At the end of the day, you had these guys that were your friends, never messed around with him, but then you ended up, you knew at some point you could sleep with them, that would probably be a green light. That had been there the whole time, but you were friends with them. So anyways. He's been dating this girl for about 3 weeks to a month.
Okay.
He says something was weird, right? He got that instinct that something was off. So he was like, hey, don't come up this weekend. He goes to check out her TikTok. Come to find out, she's been liking, commenting back and forth with this other guy. He confronts her about it. She blows up.
Okay.
Gaslighting, obviously, right? Something don't seem right. He questions it. She blows up on him. And she was like, hey, I'm just dating. I'm allowed to have guy friends. Okay. There's nothing wrong with having guy friends. Completely platonic. Anyway, long story short, he cuts her off because, like, he messages me. I answer him. I tell him what it is. You know me. I'm giving him my spiel. I was like, hell the fuck no. Ain't none of that shit happening. Somebody's interested in somebody, yada, yada, yada. He finally gets back to me because I was late in messaging. He's like, hey, I already cut her off. And come to find out, the other guy found out about me. He messages me and he's like, wait, what's up? He didn't know about him either. So she was dating, playing both the guys.
Wow.
And then that guy cut her off too. And she tried to come back and get the original guy. You get what I'm saying? So she's like, hey, give me another chance. And he was like, nah, I'm fucking done. Anyways, so the biggest thing that stemmed from that conversation, which a lot of people I'm sure have dealt with that, I don't believe in friends of the opposite sex. At all whatsoever. And let me preface it by saying this. Yes, you can have a friend of the opposite sex that you don't do anything with, that you probably haven't had sex with, but the initial contact, the whole initial meeting came from an attraction from one side or the other. And it might not be the girl, but it's definitely the guy. And at some point during that relationship, just like you encountered, he was ready and willing. When the gates came down, this motherfucker came through there with a full heart on. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
How do you feel about that? Do we reserve the right as a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife to say you are not allowed to have friends that you communicate with that are of the opposite sex? What do you think about that?
So I personalize everything, right? That's just how I address things. Call it the ADHD in me. I have to relate to the situation. You are 100% correct. I can tell you that every person that I've figured was just a friend in my life has always come on to me, or vice versa. I have come on to them. I had a friend. No, I'm not telling that story. No, not doing it. But I 100% agree with you. You should be able to tell your significant other, like, especially when you've established this was a little fresh. They were just getting to know each other. They were only 3 weeks in. They hadn't established if they were in a relationship or not, I'm assuming.
Right. They didn't.
Yeah. So she's dating. She should have been honest. She should have been honest and said, I'm dating. We're not exclusive. We're getting to know each other. But I am dating. And, like, if that's not comfortable with you, I completely understand. You have to understand that he might have a boundary, that he wants to only date you and you're dating multiple people. So you have to understand that you might lose that. But because she wasn't honest is where she was wrong. And it was because she was doing something shady, period.
Yeah. And maybe he was trying to take the opportunity to be like, hey, I probably want something serious or whatever. But the thing that he did good was he suspected because something wasn't simple and wasn't consistent. He's like, what the fuck's going on right here? This doesn't make sense to me. So now I'm going to inquire about it. And then every response that came out of her mouth didn't make sense to him. He was like, nah, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out. I think he won 1,000% on that exchange between him and that girl. Now, she might have been really cool in the beginning, but man, there's fucking 10,000 of them just like her, and I hope he finds a better version
he will.
of that. So
yeah, we had a comment in the chat, and I want to answer it. So Jen says, what about you, Trish and House? So every conversation that House and I have ever had is business related. We both had an idea, like this Discord that was put forth, the Damn Squad, was 100% House's idea. When I came in, it was interacting with everybody else, and then House recognized that I was assisting, I guess you can say, helping people get like affiliate or with their streams or whatever, taking on like a motherly HR role. And so House and Skelly, who's the other mod in our Discord, brought me on to be a part of this thing that we're building. And I have done a ton for this Discord because I treat it like it's my family, just like House does, just like Skelly does. And when I was told, like said, hey, you should stream, I didn't want any part in streaming at all unless it was a podcast type. And this was something that I had communicated with House. So House always knew that a podcast was something that I was going to want to do. And he would come on episodes, but I had a ton of other guests. And we've just done so well because we bounce ideas off of each other. Every single conversation we've had is about business.
And exactly. So like, you're watching it in real time. I'm learning stuff about Trish for the first time. We don't have personal conversations.
We do not.
That would be disrespectful to my wife.
Exactly.
I believe. I wouldn't let my wife have personal conversations and text messages with another man. That ain't happening. Not on my watch. So I've got to return the same respect. So like, you guys are literally seeing me as like we're talking about this in front of you guys. All that shit she just said in her opener right now, I learned for the first time. I never fucking knew it. Never knew any of that stuff.
Now, there's stuff that we've learned from each other from watching each other's streams, or very early on in the Damn Squad, House would do these warcasts where he'd have guests come on and he would do like an interview type. And so he knew like certain things about like relationships that I had, about my previous marriage. So that's where he's like, we've talked about this before, but every conversation we've ever had is about business and about growth. I respect him. I respect his marriage, and everyone that knows me knows that I lead with integrity, and I cannot stand any infidelity whatsoever. So thank you for asking the question, just so everybody knew what the relationship was. But we respect each other. We are friends, but we're respectful friends. There's a boundary.
And that's the thing, though. Like, we're not like, we're across the country. We're not hanging out or exchanging daily text messages. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's not what this is. But like, if you come across your spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend that are doing that, sharing that time with somebody else, you better be raising an eyebrow, because there's some funny shit going on there. Like, somebody's interested in somebody. Yeah. Now, you might have a very sincere girlfriend or wife that's just very nice and naive. They exist. They're out there. But that other motherfucker on the end of that motherfucker's waiting in the bushes. He's just fucking waiting. I'm telling you right now. Yeah.
I see. Respect. Okay. Well, we answered a question. Okay. Yeah, I'll stop texting sprinkle jugs is what Rich just said.
Oh, shit.
Okay. So the question that you were asking is if men and women can be friends.
Yeah.
See,
I don't think so. There's no such thing.
I don't think that they can be friends. Like, so I have friends, male friends that I'm friends with because of their wife. So like when we would get together and have like barbecues, we would interact like that way.
Okay, that's fine. Are you having late night conversations with them? Are you exchanging text messages? That's different.
No.
Well, I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about, he's my best friend. We go have lunch together. Bull fucking shit you do.
Okay.
Bullshit you do.
So listen, I just had a friendship like this. I just had a friendship like this that I no longer have. No, hold on. In my mind, I had convinced myself that we were just friends.
Mm-hmm. And what did he do? What did he do? See, I don't even gotta know the story. I just know the makeup. It happens the same way every time. At what point were you vulnerable or down or whatever? And then he made his move. And what was the move? See, I love being right.
No,
I fucking love it.
You are 100% right. So, so I'll just call it for what it is. We'll just call it for what it is. So I had done a warcast with you where I had shared that my ex-husband had cheated on me, and
recent.
No, listen. No, I'm going way back. We're going way back.
Okay,
We're
all
not
right.
saying names. We're not saying names. But
Okay.
where I had a warcast with you where I had shared that I was cheated on and like I, was abused, all whatever you want to call it, and that I was coming out of that. This person was a mutual friend, and and they, after some time went on, they had shared with me that they were separated from their significant other, and that they didn't know if they could repair the relationship, that they had been separated for 2 years is what they had told me. And so I was like giving them advice on, if you're trying to fix it, you can't, you have to start new. I was giving him advice.
Yeah.
And after a period of time had gone by, then it came out, I like you. I want to pursue something with you. And that kind of caught me off guard because I didn't expect that. And yeah. So I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, because let's say in a normal situation, he had like reached out to you. Maybe he's like, oh man, there's a physical interest there. Like I kind of like her or whatever.
Yeah.
Like this is cool. So, but it might fall flat because, I mean, you got no reason to have a bunch of guy friends, right?
No,
especially if
there's
you're
not.
in a relationship. If you want a friend, go find a girlfriend. Like it's the same thing for me. I got no business being friends with a bunch of girls. What I'm gonna do? We're gonna go watch a football game.
Yeah,
We might play
no.
COD, but that's like,
But that, to me,
we're not
that's-
gonna share the same interests.
Yeah, to me, I mean, that's kind of different as far as like gaming, for instance. Because like you and I play video games together, but you and I have never played video games alone. There have always been other people in there. You know what I mean? So it's like I honestly, like, if you ever said like, hey, jump in my lobby, let's just play, and it's me and you, I would feel uncomfortable about that because, like I said, I respect you and I respect your marriage. So I would be like, is it just me and you playing together? But it's never, and then even you, like, even take me out of the equation. You've never just played with a female. Nope. It's always been multiple people playing. And
I would never do that.
I respect that about you.
It's not. I'm not in fear of myself. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to get close to somebody or put on a bad impression. Right? It's nothing like that. Jenna will never be in a position where she's going to question what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Like, there's not going to be
literally cry.
anything that's going to be inconsistent in my behavior. And if there's something that looks funny, there's going to be a logical explanation for it. Like one time I was in Vegas, she said she couldn't get a hold of me, or like, the Find My iPhone, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I have that shit. Fuck yeah, I have that shit. So, I got a story for you after that. I got a story.
Man, let me, this one right here will fucking, you'll laugh at this one. So they got my information, her mom and her.
Yeah.
So they can both locate me. Her mom is always searching for everybody in the family. I have no fucking idea why. She might be a little paranoid. I don't know. But anyways.
It's a girl thing.
I'm literally in Vegas in the middle of a desert. There's this sports complex where they got this big 7-on-7 tournament for Pylon. And like there's tens of thousands of kids there, but it's in the middle of a desert. Like, I'm never anywhere where I don't have service, but I was in that moment.
Why are you in the middle of a desert? Were you just commuting or?
No, that's where the sports complex is located.
Got it. Okay.
And when you're in Vegas, everything's a desert anyway. So, like, I was in one spot, and she couldn't find me. So, like, there was this big hoopla about me vanishing. And I'm like, I didn't have service. Like, that's why you couldn't do the find. She said something about, like, you can still do the find me. I'm like, no, you can't. You can't do the find me if there's no service, there's no signal. You can't do it. But anyways, so that was literally the only situation that I had to explain about me being somewhere. But she's never going to look at my behavior and what I do and how I represent myself around other females, which I don't. I'm not around them at all because she doesn't need that. Like, I need to handle my fucking business. But in the same breath, she better be doing the same shit for me.
He says, she said you're butchering the story. His phone died is what he said. She said.
My phone didn't die. I didn't have any service where I was at. So now she's talking about when I was at the hotel. That's what she's talking about. Yeah. But when I was in there, that's when her mom couldn't find me. But That's what it is. But she better be doing the same thing for me. Now, if she's not doing the same thing for me, I got a fucking problem with that. That's not happening. Not in my relationship. No.
So the reason why I got teary-eyed off of that is because like I can just hear like when you describe your relationship with Jenna, and like that's one of the things that I admire about you so much is your integrity. Your relationship, like you move with integrity. You don't allow anything that can potentially wreck what you have with Jenna.
Right.
And so when I hear you speak about it with such passion, it brings tear to my eyes because I could tell you're proud of what you've created with her. I could tell that you're proud of what you have with her. And I wish that like most men did that. I wish most men would realize how lucky they are to even have somebody who wants to put up with their shit and be prideful about it. And so it brings a tear to my eye because most men don't value relationships like that anymore. They really don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. You got to find a good one. And that's going to bring me to my next thing. I wanted to bring this up, and I've got many other DMs that we got to go through.
I do too. Let me pull my shit together. Okay, go.
But in no way are me and Jenna special from anybody. Like, we fucking fight. We fight a lot. We have fought a lot. Like, she's a very strong fucking personality, and she fucking rocks with the best of them. But I'm also proud of that. The problem is we're both just as stubborn as each other, so we fight a lot. Like, I'm not saying we're perfect at all, but as far as like the infidelity stuff, I'm perfect as far as that goes. Like, nothing will ever be like as it shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that stuff.
Imagine how many relationships would be successful if you took that factor and were affirmed.
No doubt.
Like, they knew my man is loyal. He would never do that. But to me, like, imagine how many relationships would succeed because their spouse, both of them, were affirming each other if nothing's coming in between this. I'm not entertaining other women. I'm not entertaining other men because you are my person. Like, think about it. If people put themselves in that situation where they go, nope, what I have is more valuable. There would be so many more successful relationships. Deal with the real shit. Deal with the money problems. Deal with the communication problems. Don't bring in a third party thinking that that's going to make your relationship better. It's not. Affirm your partner. Make them feel confident in the relationship. And I promise you, that's one less thing you have to deal with. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the communication that you've been preaching about since the beginning. Because, I mean, that's going to be number one. So, like, you were saying that women wish they had a guy that would give them security like that. But there are a bunch of guys out there. There's a bunch of bad ones out there, but there are good guys out there. And that's what we talked about before, about our standards possibly being too high. And then we don't allow ourselves these opportunities because X, Y, Z, whatever those things are.
Yeah.
Why do nice guys finish last? So, like, that brings me to this conversation that I always found very interesting because it's very true. There's a lot of guys, and I said this about you. You've got guys right now that we don't know everything about them, but they would roll out the red carpet. But there's something that we don't like about them. Your preferences are your preferences. No judgment there. But nice guys always finish last. Pretty true statement, though, isn't it? So why is that from a girl's perspective? Why is the nice guy never good enough?
I think that women attribute nice men as boring.
Okay. So is that true? Are nice guys boring?
No.
What is the honest answer to that, though?
I don't think nice guys are boring whatsoever. I think that women usually think that if a relationship is passionate, and they confuse passion with insecurity. So what I mean when I say that is this: you're in a relationship where a guy is very good looking. He has everything that you want physically, right? All the girls are looking at him, but your partner doesn't affirm you. But you see these women looking at him and you're like, what the fuck? Like, why is this bitch looking at you? It's okay. It's fine. It's no big deal. To me, like, that's something I don't want to deal with. I don't want to deal with a man that's not going to be like, I'm with my woman, stop, leave me alone. So they attribute like the toxicity as being a bad boy. You know what I mean? Where women can choose if they want to be around those things or not in their relationship. I'm sorry, I'm not interested in a bad boy. Unless you're bad here, I don't need to deal with you bad out there is what I'm talking about. And I know that a lot goes a long way with with the good guys. They're not boring. They're just not drama.
Well, who do you gravitate towards more though? See, like I feel like me too that most girls gravitate towards the bad guys.
I think
the ones got a little bit of edge to them, rough around the edges, like something about them.
Sure. I would say I did that more when I was like younger. I don't do that as I've gotten older. I think a lot of women probably tend to do that as they're younger because it's attractive. Why it's attractive, I couldn't tell you. It's the same thing when you look at like movies like Rebel Without a Cause and you have, you know, the characters wearing the tight blue jeans and smoking a cigarette, leaning against the car, and you're like, ooh, that's sexy, versus, you know, the nerdy guy in the cardigan with the books and the glasses. I've always liked the nerdy guy with the cardigan and the books and the glasses. So I've always been attracted to that. But some women look at that as like, ooh, taboo, temptation. Ooh, I can't play with that. When, I mean, you would save yourself so much heartache if you didn't, like, you didn't base it off of something physical and you went off of something emotional, I think.
Yeah.
I can fix him mentality. Thank you. Thank you.
See,
I can fix him mentality.
Here's the, like, so it sounds like she's agreeing with us. So like, but that goes back to that thing. It's like, why do most relationships not work out? Well, because you guys are trying to change us. So like, we want to fix him. We want to change his flaws or make him more well-rounded, not so rough around the edges. But that shit always fails. Like, why is that a goal? Like, why do we do that? And when I say we, I'm talking about you guys, because men don't do that shit. Men aren't looking for a fucking project. We are not. We want little to no problems when it comes to picking out a girl. That's why that physical stuff doesn't matter. We want all these other things that matter.
I actually cannot believe I didn't answer this one correctly. Okay, I have the best one for you. So my ex, I'm sorry, he was a big part of my life. That's where my stories come from. He was never in a relationship before me. His longest relationship was 3 months. Never lived with a woman. Never, like, he said, I love you, but never, like, did anything, okay? When he met me, he was affirming me, like, fuck the 3-day rule. I'm calling you tomorrow. Text me, all of that stuff. Told me he loved me without hesitation. Told me, hey, I want to be with you, and that's it. Told me we're going to be living together within a year. Told me I'm going to buy you a house, like, all of these things. And I felt like I won. I felt like I won. I was like, fuck yeah. Nobody could tie this guy down, but I did. I tied this guy down. He wants to be with me. He wants to build all these things with me. And I can tell you that's a lot of why I put up with the shit that I did, because I always felt like I won something because I had his attention. But I didn't. I didn't have his attention. It was an illusion. It was a fucking illusion. So women look at the bad guys as projects and like we're winning, like we won something. When
what
really
have you won, though?
You won jack shit.
Right.
You haven't won anything. Nothing.
Why do we have this mentality though? Like we use like the type of man to gain some kind of status, right? Or get some kind of placement in the social hierarchy. Like, why? What is that? What kind of biological instinct is that?
I think I think it's more like same thing with the girls with the daddy issues. You know what I mean? It's the same concept for the girls that grow up without fathers or have daddy issues, and men are more attracted to women like that.
So it's funny. So like I was asking about the biological thing too, and I asked somebody the question about the height. So this was off podcast, and it was a girl, and I was like, so why is that a thing? Why do we give a fuck? What's the biological imprint or like the biological blueprint for like needing a man that's taller than them? And they were like, and this kind of made sense. They were like, well, it's survival of the fittest, right? We want the biggest, the strongest. We want our kids to inherit good genes. Like we want them to have the best of everything, whether it's a good looking man, the tallest man, the most muscular man. So like we want them to be big as possible. We don't want them smaller than me, because what did I just do to my offspring? That actually made some sense to me, but
I've told you that before.
No, I don't remember. That's the first time I heard it like that in 40 years. I swear to God.
No,
I swear to God.
I actually described it that way previously because it is very much like a protective stance. Like women in their mind attribute strong men as something you can see, like physical stature, whether they're stout. Why do you think a lot of women like men with dad bods and broad shoulders? Because they look at it as like they can take care of me. They're burly. Like that's how women connect those things in their minds. Absolutely.
Dad bods are a good thing.
Are you kidding me? Dad bods are extremely attractive.
Hold on, I gotta check the chat. Ladies, dad bods with New Balances are a good thing?
You literally just described my ex-husband. That's exactly what he was.
Oh, I bet I did. I bet I did.
I love guys that are a little thicker. Yes, 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 yes.
For real though, says Bad Wolf. Yes. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm. You damn right. Mm-hmm.
Jones says I'm so hot then. There's no way. No dad bods, man. None. No, says Erica. There's no way, man. I've never heard that.
That's why when the men were making these comments, like the girls want like the 666, the over 6 foot tall, the 6 figures and the 6-pack. I have only dated like 1 or 2 people that had like a 6-pack, and I've never looked at a man saying, you don't have a 6-pack, never mind. Right. I would never hold them in this, like, I don't have a 6-pack. I'm not going to be like, ew, no. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't want someone to judge me physically like that. But I love a guy that has like meat on his bones. I think it's so attractive. Yeah, I do.
Well, how is that survival of the fittest? That's an unhealthy body type.
I know that if we're caught in Antarctica and we're about to die, that his body's gonna keep me warm.
You get.
Yeah. Hello. Thick. Same shit.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know about all that stuff. That's crazy.
No, the dad bods are what women like. As soon as you see a guy that's a gym rat and goes to a gym, ladies, say yes in the chat if you agree. As soon as you see a guy who's a gym rat and is constantly going to the gym, you immediately think fuckboy. Do you immediately think fuckboy? Yes. 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 Yep. Yes. 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 I'm gonna start a song. Yes.
I mean,
yes,
I agree. Yes. I agree that would probably be the majority, but I mean, that just doesn't make sense. If we're looking for survival of the fittest, that just doesn't make sense to me. New Balances and a graphics tee.
I love a good graphics tee. I do.
Like,
well, I love a good
Marvel or what? Like Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Jesus
Hello.
Christ. Yeah, you definitely like nerds, which I'm not judging you. I'm just saying.
You know what it is? You know what it is?
What is it?
I like Clark Kent. So I like the whole image of Clark Kent, with the glasses.
Clark Kent's not a dad bod.
Relax.
He doesn't wear New Balances.
I understand that, but I'm saying I like that look where the glasses and the nerd and pushing him up and then taking him off, and he's like I love that. I love that. I think it's good.
When you get a real nerd, right? When you get a real nerd with a dad bod and New Balances, and then he takes off his suit, that's going to be a different look there. And then when he takes his glasses off, he can't actually see. That's a dumb.
Better for me. Better for me. Better for me.
So I got another DM in the chat.
Okay.
She says, my boyfriend who lives with me suddenly deleted a girl who was supposedly his friend in his phone. So it's been 3 weeks. He doesn't want to kiss. He only wants to do other things since she's called him out about this girl that she saw, but he deleted it real quick. Only wants to do other things. They get in the bed, they fool around. In the middle of fooling around, he says, hey, honey, just please don't ask about that other phone anymore. So that's his old phone. He got a new phone.
Oh.
He deleted this girl off that other phone.
Okay.
He's asking her, don't inquire about that anymore. And he does the whole gaslighting thing when she questions about it. Why are you worried about it? I already deleted her. Like, this is what I do. Like, stop questioning me about it.
No.
She says, any advice?
Do they live together? Are they together?
Yeah.
He's lying
So
to you.
she's finding girls that he's searching for on Facebook, women that are practically nude on TikTok. So he's doing the typical guy thing, like looking for girls on Facebook. I told her straight up, do you need any more signs?
Exactly. No. So here's the thing. When somebody makes it a point to tell you, don't ask about this anymore or don't do this, it's because they're gaslighting you. So I was in a situation. Well, I don't even have to get into the situation because I've said it before. You can have this phone. I will give you my password and you can look at it whenever you want when I'm in a relationship. And you know why? Because I have nothing to hide. And if they find something in here, I better be ready to answer the questions truthfully. I don't care about this. What I care about is who I'm with. And if the person really cared about you and their relationship, they wouldn't even utter the words, don't ask me for my phone. The only reason why they're not giving it to you, I don't give a shit about privacy. I don't give a shit about privacy. If they were reaffirming you in your relationship, you wouldn't feel insecure enough to ask. And maybe you're just a person who's insecure. Maybe you're just a person that you're coming out of a bad relationship and you have that in the back of your mind that, are they cheating on me? Are they doing something behind my back? They know that. They know that about you as they're coming into the relationship, and they should care about reaffirming you and making sure that you feel secure. I'm sorry, like he's hiding something from you, period.
The biggest red flag is if you're in a relationship with anybody, man or woman, doesn't matter which side, if they've got two phones, you're in trouble. Period. I don't give a fuck if they're saying it's a work phone. Bullshit. That ain't no fucking like whatever, man. It's a burner phone is what that is.
I have two phones.
Work phones are burner phones as well.
I have two phones and I never use my work phone ever.
Work phones are burner phones too. So like you better be fucking finding out. And if they actually do have a work phone like Trish does and they're not giving you access to it, then you already know what the fuck's going on. So I just think if you're in a relationship with anybody, you're privy to whatever they have. Like if they're not hiding anything, then it should be no issue, just like what you said. So that shit's cut and dry to me.
Well, like you just said, though, in a relationship, you have to establish those boundaries as a unit. Like if you have not had that talk where you're like, we are together or this is exclusive, you don't have any footing whatsoever. So that's why in previous videos that we've posted, we've said if your intention is trying to find somebody to be with, to build something with, don't hide that shit. Don't push that to the side thinking that one day you're going to prove to him what you're worthy to commit with. No, let them know. I'm looking for a relationship. And if they are not on the same page or they say, oh, I just need some time. Fuck you. No. Next.
Right.
Okay,
right,
I have a DM too. I have several, but let's read this one.
Go for it.
So this one is going to be quick, but I just felt like it was important enough to say. So I got a message from a lady today that said that she has a boyfriend. She's 25 years old. I made sure that she was of legal age, and she's a virgin. She's never had sex before in her life. And her boyfriend is pressuring her, saying, if you loved me, you would lose your virginity with me. Is not asking her to marry him, is not, saying let's move in together, is saying if you love me, you'll give me this to prove to me that you love me. So her question to me was, should I just do it? I know I want to be with him. I know I want to marry him. Should I just do it because this is the person I see for me in my life?
Fuck no. Fuck no. Here's the thing. Like, okay, I maybe he will end up with her. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, like maybe he will end up. But what if she doesn't? Like that's the worst end of the spectrum, right? So like at the end of the day, what's the biggest loss? You actually giving that to him and then him bouncing on you. Like that's a bigger loss than the other way around. So, man. Now, well, see. What if he proposes? What do you say then? So now it's serious.
No, I would. So, you mean proposes and then says, I want to have sex before we get married? We have our whole lives. This means something to me. For whatever reason, you've decided to make the choice to be a virgin, whatever reason, whether it's your religion or your own personal beliefs. The person that you're with needs to respect your boundary, the boundary that you've put forth and said, I don't want to do this until I am married. I'm going to save this for the person that I'm marrying as a gift, because that's what it is. And if a person, whether you're engaged to them, living with them, cannot respect that boundary, they are not the one for you, because they will never respect any boundary that you put forth, period.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Riz accidentally timed out Hulk Angry. Can we take that off, Riz, please? So Malicious has a question from TikTok that came in earlier in regards to the phone, saying, what if if you ask to see the phone and they gaslight you and say, are you insecure? You respond with, I'm insecure about our relationship right now and I need to feel better. Can I please see your phone?
I mean, listen, if he's throwing any shade back at you and you're supposed to be his number one, he's fucking doing something. He's doing something he shouldn't be doing. If he was completely clean, he would do this. Here you go.
Yeah.
He might have something to say about it. He might be a little upset, might be like, man, why do I got to keep doing this? Like, but he would do this. But if he's not doing that, listen, man, you need to get in that phone ASAP. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling you. You need to get in the phone ASAP. There's something in there that you ain't going to want to find.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
But you need to find though.
Okay, let me pull up another question that we had. Again, if you have any questions that you want House and I to discuss, our DMs are open. Just send us the DMs. We go over them. Actually, we don't go over them. I'm reading them and he's hearing it for the first time, just like his messages I'm hearing for the first time. And we're discussing it live on air. So definitely message us and we will discuss them. We will keep you anonymous if that's what you would like.
Yeah. I think I'm going to keep them anonymous regardless. So just DM us in the TikTok, in the Discord, and then we'll bring up your concern. Because look, whatever you're going through, 8 other people in this chat have already gone through it. There's probably 3 of them actually going through it. So like, it's great advice for everybody. People want to know, all of us at some point during our life has thought that, man, am I the only one going through this right now?
Yes.
We've all thought that, man. We've all thought that we've got the worst luck on planet Earth, and that's not true at all. Somebody else is going through that. So please, don't be shy. Don't be afraid. We're not going to expose who you are or anything like that. Your situation might be someone else's situation. It just gives them just that little bit more courage that, for them to do what they might need to do, which is leave.
Exactly.
If they feel like, if I hear your story, Trish, and we got the same story, and then I find out you left when you finally gained the courage to do it, and you ended up okay, that might be all I need to hear to be like, man, fuck this motherfucker, man, I'm out of here. It's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna make it. Like, it's not death defying, right? I'm not gonna lose my life over this thing. So some people just need that little nudge.
Yeah, like I had a friend in my life that I thought I could not live without. I honestly thought that this person was going to be in my life forever. And I adored everything about this person, everything about them. And at a sacrifice to myself, I really drove that friendship to work. And I realized that it wasn't serving me. And I pulled out of that friendship cold, blocked all of it, you name it, done. There was something that happened that made me make that decision, but I made that decision. And I can tell you this, I do miss this person, but I made that choice for me. And I am so happy that I made that choice, because ever since I did that, I'm no longer pouring into an empty cup. And I'm happier for it, period. It might seem like the pain's never going to go away. It might seem like, that person was meant for you and you're never going to move on. You're not going to move on if you stay in it. And you're not going to move on if you don't think you're going to move on. You have to change your mindset, knowing one day at a time. I'm not going to cry as often today. I'm not going to reach out today, one day at a time. That's all it takes. And it's a pattern that happens. I can guarantee you there's 20% of somebody in this chat is going through something similar, and a lot of it is holding on to something that's not. I don't believe in a twin flame. I 100% do not believe in a twin flame. I think it's a propaganda, something in your mind that you've convinced yourself, like, this is my soulmate. If wrong person, right time, right, what is it? What's the saying? Wrong time, right person. No. No. Do you believe in that?
No, I don't believe in like what you said about love at first sight, fate, destiny. I don't believe in that stuff.
Yeah.
Do you believe in that stuff?
I believe in some of it. I do not believe in twin flames. I do not believe in soulmates. I don't. But do I think that people are brought into your life to teach you how to deal with certain situations so you can become more enlightened in it? Absolutely. Absolutely.
If people are brought into your life intentionally, do you have free will?
I've never thought about that.
I don't believe that. So I used to believe in like fate, destiny. Hey, God did this for a reason, or you're here for a purpose. If you are here for a purpose, if you are here for specific reasons, then there's no such thing as free will, which free will is talked about in the Bible. I'm not getting into religion. I'm just saying free will is discussed, that we all have free will, but there is no such thing in free will if you actually believe that all these things are intentional. Like this is what it was meant to be. This is what I just don't think.
But see, that's you're basing it off of something that you like you said, religion. You're basing that off of your life. So like a person like me who doesn't live my life that way, I live my life as becoming an enlightened individual by knowledge. Like that's how I live it. So when I think I meet people for a reason? I don't think I meet people for a reason, but I do think that I have interactions and conversations for a purpose of making me more aware of how to live life. Now, it's what you do with that information. If you choose to bring it in and use that information to become a more enlightened person, or if you kind of shun it, you're the person that keeps learning the same mistake over and over and over again because you don't do anything to change your situation. So that's what I believe life is just learning to become an enlightened person. Now, what that is, I don't know, but I know that that's what I'm aspiring to be in all life lessons. I'm constantly in self-reflection. I'm constantly learning things about myself and how other people perceive me, because you might think that you're coming across a certain way to somebody, and somebody might go, oh, that person's a bitch. And you're like, oh my God, someone just called me a bitch. I don't think I'm a bitch. But then I sit in there and I'm like, what did I say or do that made them think that I was a bitch? Okay, maybe I should readjust that a little bit because I don't want to give off that vibe. You have to constantly stay in the mind of growth versus attack. That's what I believe. But okay, let me read this DM really fast. So, hey Trish, so I'm struggling here. Me and this guy recently started talking again. Yes, we have a history and everything is great, but there's always a but, right? Just typing it makes me realize it shouldn't even be worth it. Anyways, so we talk every day, not every hour, but we're always catching each other on how our day was and always wishing each other great energy. It just that every time I ask to see me, he either ignores this or tells me he's busy and goes about his day. I understand he is a busy man, but I mean, come on, it's been almost a month since I've seen him. What should I do?
Leave. Like, you know how silly, and again, I'm not saying this against the person, but like, you know how silly we look chasing people that are just not interested. Like, we always talk about like these guys are so arrogant and all that stuff, but when we give them the power, are they wrong for thinking they're arrogant? Like, how much power does this guy have now?
Yeah. He has all the power.
She's giving it to him though. Like, he's controlling when they meet. She has to be okay with it. If she chooses to, if I'm gonna allow you to be in this situation with me, you're gonna be okay with me not coming to see you. So he's dictating when they see, how much he talks. He's getting to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. Maybe he's not that interested, but isn't that funny? We almost want, and this used to be, maybe it's not so much when you guys get older, but definitely younger, like when I was dating, the less I gave a fuck, the more they liked me.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they think they're going to change your mind. They think that they're going to do something that's going to. It's all this fairy tale.
Idiotic?
It is. It's all this fairy tale bullshit where they're like, one day he's going to realize. One day she's going to realize that I'm the right person for them. One day he's going to realize that nobody does what I do, because we put ourselves on this pedestal and we think we deserve them because we're good people. We treat them right. We fuck them right. Whatever it is. If you did all those things right, he would want to be with you. He's not choosing you for a reason. It is no like, oh, they're just going to come around in their due time. No. Now, if this person is telling her, this person is like, look, I'm really slammed right now. I'm busy. I want to spend time with you. I just can't do it right now. And having the communication and the context is there, she could choose what she wants to do with it. But if she's like, I want to see you, and he goes, sorry, I'm busy right now, and like not reaffirming her, saying, but I want to see you, just give me some time. To me, that's different. It's a completely different conversation. Would you agree?
Yeah, and if she's at her wit's end, I would say, hey, listen, we either put something on the books right now to spend some time with each other, or I'm out. And then see how he responds to it. Like if he makes something happen, then he might be kind of serious. But again, it's like someone said in the chat earlier, I think it was Malicious, which she puts up a good point. If it gets to the point where you have to ask for his phone because they're being shady, it's already over, isn't it?
True.
I would agree with that because, yeah, but some people need the validation. Okay, I was right. This motherfucker is fucking off, right? I'm not just in my head. So like, that's why I say go seek out the truth. Me, if this shit looks funny, I'm gone. Like I don't need to waste my fucking time, but that depends on the person. So same thing right here. If she has to get to the point where she has to give him an ultimatum, I think it's already done. Like he's not putting forth any effort. The longer she sits in this thing, the more time she is wasting of hers. That's it. That's why I'm such a big advocate of you guys, men and women in the chat, whoever you're talking to, make sure you let them know exactly what the fuck you want to do, how much you like them, if you like them a lot. Find out what the plans are, what the situation is. If you're feeling very strongly about something, do not hesitate or be reserved in letting that person know, because their response is going to tell you exactly where you stand.
Exactly. Agreed.
And that should be enough for you to decide, hey, I'm gonna stay with this person because I heard exactly what I wanted, or that did not fall in line with what I thought, then you need to go. Like, but we fuck ourselves though, right, Trish? Like
we do, because we convince
really
ourselves.
Like yeah.
We convince ourselves.
There you go. That's it.
We convince ourselves that we are more important than in their lives than we are. We think that we matter more than we do. Where if you mattered, you would know. They would make you feel that way. You wouldn't feel empty. You wouldn't feel like you wouldn't feel like you're begging for attention, or you're begging for a date, or you're begging for, falling in love, whatever you call it. You wouldn't be begging for that stuff. You would know where you stand if somebody was interested in you. Think about it. If you as the woman, or you as the man, if you love somebody or like somebody, what are you doing? Reassuring them. You're reassuring them. If you're not getting that back, they're just not into you. Period.
Bia says something interesting. She says she always gets, I work too much because I travel, and 7 days a week, 14 to 16 hours a day.
If she gets that from men that she's talking to, or
the guy that she's talking to?
Well, does he have a busy job? Does he do that?
I don't know. Like of any, like, I'm sure they're out there, but even if I'm busy, I've been busy that long. So my work schedule, I got to be there at 6 a.m. in the morning. And then I don't get home until fucking 10 p.m., 11 midnight, something like that. How many hours is that? That's fucking 12. That's 16 to 18 hours. Same thing as hers. I still talk to Jenna every day.
Do you guys ever go times when you don't talk?
No, because I liked her. I didn't because I liked her. I didn't want to not talk to her. I literally, you know what I did? She was in Vegas. I'm on East Coast time, and I'd get home 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I'd go right to bed. Then she'd get off work about 4 a.m. my time. My ass would get up at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning, and we'd play Friday the 13th together. So like that would be our time talking. I'd spend 2 hours right before I got up to go to work. I was getting 5 to 6 hours of sleep, maybe. But here's the thing. Like I was struggling during the day because I didn't get enough sleep, didn't get enough rest, but I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to maintain this relationship with somebody that I liked dearly, and I wasn't about to lose that shit. So that's going to tell you how serious your man or woman is that you are with. If they're not fucking serious about you, they're going to find ways not to. If they're serious about you, they're going to find ways to do it. People who are serious don't make fucking excuses, man.
They don't make excuses.
People who aren't serious make fucking excuses. They live in that shit. You need to get the fuck out of there. I'm just telling you.
And they convince themselves of that. They convince themselves of this reality that it's like they are busy or, and they're not. And they're not.
Yeah, I mean, and I know that's not the answer you want to hear, though, girl, but you're wasting your fucking time. Like, you're wasting your time. And wherever it is right now, whatever lack of attention you're getting or lack of respect or whatever you call it, wherever it is right now, you tack on some years and some experience onto that, it's going to get worse. It doesn't get better as you go. It gets worse as you go. Trust me.
It does. Because you start convincing yourself, or you start feeling insecure in the relationship, and you start feeling like you're putting in too much effort, and then you start thinking, do they even like you? So your relationship is already established in insecurity. You are already feeling like half empty. You have to stop pouring yourself into people that are not pouring back into you, because then you're just going to feel empty in the end.
And that's the hard thing. That's kind of what we're trying to get you guys. Listen, you heard her path. She's been through it. My path, same way. We've been through it. We're not up here talking about, like, we all got friends. I've seen a lot of this stuff. Like, what's funny is a lot of this stuff that we talk about here, like what we used to talk about in college. And the funny thing about it is we talked about it from the other side, Trish. So like, and we should do a segment on this soon, because like the reason why I feel like I know what I know. One is from experience. One, because I've been through it and all that stuff, the good and the bad. But two, we used to use these things to be able to talk to women.
What do you
mean? In college. Like, just like all the stuff that we're talking about, like how do you get a woman's attention? Like, what works? Why do they like the bad man? Well, we would take on a bad guy persona. Like, remember what I said? The less I cared, the more they liked me. Yeah. Like, we put this shit into practice, and we used to say to each other, man, we was like, man, fuck, dude. Like we could write a book about it, because it was just crazy. So like, this is why we're talking about this stuff. Like, we don't want you guys to go through the same shit that like we have experienced. Yeah. Like, nobody wants to get married and divorce.
Nobody.
Like, nobody wants to fucking do that shit. That shit's annoying. So again, you got to decide, though, right? So like, Bia's got to decide, and she's at the end of the day, her heart's going to tell her this guy that she's watching doesn't know her. I don't know him. So she's going to think her situation is different, but it's not.
It's not.
These things are universal.
It is universal. That was one of the things that I've noticed at a lot of comments that I've gotten, as far as like in the videos that we've posted, is, well, no, he's just this, or no, she's just that. But in a roundabout way, it all is the same thing. You are not getting the attention or love that you need to feel fulfilled. So there's already a disconnect. The person that you're dating is already disconnected from you. They're not loving you, your love languages, whatever, in the way that you need to feel fulfilled. So you have to identify these things early on, so that you're not wasting your time. So like you said, she'll most likely look at this like, okay, hold on, I'll tell you, we have a question right here. We've answered this question before. So I talked to this guy who pours out to me on a FaceTime maybe once a week. He's in the Navy and super busy, but he is a horrible texter, gives me very mixed signals, thoughts, and feelings. So Jen, have you asked him, what are you looking for? Have you told him what you're looking for? I'm curious. TikTok, what if the other person's girlfriend passed away for a year ago? They're a good person, but they are not ready. Question, how'd you meet? How'd you meet? Did you meet on dating apps? I'm curious, because if they met on a dating app, he shouldn't have been on there if he's not ready.
I just think she's in a rat race right now.
To me, to me.
He's dating. And she's losing. I don't know, man. Especially if they met on dating app. I mean, he's talking to several.
Yeah, he's talking to several. Yeah.
I mean, if he's on the market, they're not exclusive. I mean, you're getting mixed signals on purpose. Like, you're not, like, he's and on top of that, he's not interested, right? Like, ain't nothing clearer than the truth. So, like, if everything's murky, he's not very interested. He's kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He's probably dating other people. It's any one of those things. Trust me. The bottom line is, it doesn't matter which one it is. You're on the losing end of it, and you need to make a decision right now, or continue to waste your time. So, like, that's an easy one. And yeah, we've answered these multiple, but this is the way this thing's gonna be though, Trish, because people are gonna come in here brand new, never seen it, or like, you know, they didn't hear us discuss their problems, and some people are gonna be here for every one of them, so they might hear it over and over and over. My guy in the chat. So Josh, I think you said you messaged me in TikTok. I do not have it. If any of you guys, yes, I think Love Killer, she said something earlier. Do I message you in TikTok? DM me in TikTok if you got questions about anything. And then I've got one right here. How come majority of women talk about finding a good man, but if they look around, all the good ones they know, they have friend zone? So that kind of goes into what I was saying earlier, my man. It's like, they go after the ones that are no good for them, right? They go after the guys that are the bad guys, right? Initially, especially when they're younger.
When they're younger, I would say it's more often
when they're
than not.
younger. And then that's what I said earlier about why do nice guys finish last. So these nice guys that are all around that would treat them very good, they get friend zoned. They're on a waiting list. They're sitting in line. That's why I say nice guys finish last. So that guy you're talking about, if it's you, whatever, sitting in the friend zone, that's you finishing last because you're a nice guy. And that's what we were kind of talking about. Like, why does that happen?
So when we had posted that video talking about when I had said, like, you wouldn't date somebody like that didn't have a job, that you wouldn't date a woman without a job. So the reason why I asked that question specifically is because in my mind, I don't want to date a bad guy. I want to date a functioning adult. And at my age, a functioning adult has a job. And so that's why I asked that question, because I'm looking for somebody who, I mean, I understand, like, we all are going through our own things, and maybe you might be in between jobs or, you know, living with your parents so you can catch up on bills, whatever it is. We're in a recession. Live your life. But the one thing that I would require of somebody that I'm dating is that you have a job, so that it shows me that you have responsibilities and that you can be, you know, someone that's reliable.
And we can look at the physiology of it. Like, so again, I told everybody that I majored in sociology and psychology back in college. I have a degree in this. So, like, they had this study a long time ago, and this goes back into what we say. So the better question is, why do we get friend zoned? That should be your question. So the guy that was asking about it, I think J-Dubs in the chat said he's been friend zoned more times than he can think of. Here's why. So the question should be, why am I getting friend zoned? They did this study a long time ago with a dog. I think it was a Labrador Retriever. I can't remember. They put him in a workspace. They'd have one person come in, and every time they came to the room, they'd run over, go play with him, pet the dog, show him all kinds of attention, right? After a while, the dog, that person would come in, that dog would act like no big deal. Seen it, played it, I'm good to go. Like, I get all the attention I need. The other round with the same dog, a guy would come in. It was a new sample set. Guy would come in, ignore the dog. So he'd come into the room, ignore the dog, not even acknowledge him. Go sit in a corner, start reading a book. So over time, what started to happen, and I just said this, right? Why do girls come to bad guys? The less I cared, the more they liked me. Bad guy mentality. So is it the same for humans, right? So this dog who got neglected, did not receive attention, yearned for it. Every time that guy came in, that dog was attacking that guy, jumping all over him, tail wagging, and the guy was just walking off, ignoring the dog completely. And the other guy who always came in and showed the dog love, that dog started ignoring that person. That's why you get friend zoned, my man. Especially early on with like immature girls, immature men, and all that stuff. And that's why we used to use that to our advantage. The less I cared, the more they liked me. And it was that same exact shit, man. If I didn't give them any attention, they yearned for it. But if I gave them too much attention, it didn't mean anything to them. There was no value to it. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
That's why you're getting friend zoned. Now, I don't know how old you are now. If you're young, then all this is applicable to you.
Do you still do that?
No, I'm a grown ass man.
When did that change for you to no longer play this like hard to get?
So like, I never cheated, but I never was with anyone. So I was always dating. Like my whole 20s, I was living that shit up. I dated the whole time. I was never exclusive with anyone. And anybody that I was with always knew that. So I was always doing this thing. So when I got proposed to, that's when it got serious for me. So I got faith behind me. I would never cheat on anybody, especially if I was in a commitment with them, because I got to answer for that later on, I believe. Yeah. So that's when it all changed for me. When I got taken off the market officially, I was no longer in the game.
And it is a game, unfortunately.
But see, when I got divorced, I'm gonna be honest. When I got divorced, I was 10 in. Probably within the first 3 months.
Jesus Christ.
So I'm gonna be honest. So like in my 30s, it didn't change much.
Were you hurt after that? Like, did you at all grieve the fact that she had cheated on you and nothing? It was just
nope.
Because so you were already done with the relationship.
I knew from very beginning I couldn't trust her. But see, that's what I'm saying. I was like,
you were naive.
I thought it would be okay. I thought that because she was ride or die, had been there so long, even in the situation, in this dating situation, she was still there. When she knows I'm out doing my own thing for fucking 8 to 10 years and she's still there, I thought I was like, man, okay, it'll get serious and I don't have to worry about the bullshit, man. Bullshit. Still, rules still apply. She still liked attention. She still didn't know how to like discern right from wrong in her decision makings and like allowing attention to creep in. Didn't communicate ever. Like she just had a bunch of problems. It was a completely bad match for me, and I fucking knew it was, but I looked past it.
It's, funny that you say that because, I mean, I wouldn't say that about, like, my ex-husband. He was not somebody that I normally would have dated. I had to convince myself that I was attracted to this person because he wasn't someone that I was very attracted to. But I thought there were certain aspects of him that I really liked. I liked how persistent he was. I liked how confident he was. And that was very attractive to me. And so it wasn't until a year into our relationship where because I thought he was I thought he was a liar. I thought when he spoke, he would lie. So I would constantly dissect it. And it wasn't until a year into our relationship that I realized, oh no, he really was a baseball star. Oh, he really did do these things. And so I let my guard down, and then I thought he was a 10. In my mind, I thought he was the most beautiful creature in the world. And as our relationship broke down, I didn't return texts. I didn't return calls. He would call me and text me while I was at work. Hey, baby, I hope you're having a good day. He called me baby girl. Hey, baby girl, I hope you're having a good day. And I wouldn't answer. And because him and I, we broke down. I was 22 when we met. Like, I was a child. And when he cheated, of course I was devastated. Like, oh my God, he cheated on me. Like, how could you do this to me? And then I remember thinking, am I that sad about this? Am I really that sad that this happened to me? There's other things that happened that were bad, but am I that sad, or am I just happy that it happened and I could leave now? I could leave now because now I have a reasoning that is okay with everybody. And I would say I took it as that. I took it as that, as a reason to get out. And then, of course, then the self-work comes in and you realize, okay, maybe I wasn't the best wife too, and, you know, all that stuff.
I got you.
But no, very much like you, where it kind of was a light bulb and I'm like, am I sad about this ending?
And just like you, I participated in the failure of the marriage. It wasn't just her. I argued, I fought back, I ignored her, I didn't treat her with care. I did all those things. But the same rule applied to me though, right? So why aren't I texting her? And we're talking about somebody I'm married to. Why aren't I texting her? Why aren't I giving her the attention she deserves? Because I wasn't into it.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
I was very much into it. And then it got to a point where I just felt like I was begging for any type of affection or love in general or any of that. And then I was just like, no, I'm done. I'm done trying. And and I just stopped. You were
just over it.
I was over it. I'm still a good mom. I'm a great mom, but like there was no love behind anything I did. At all.
And so the same thing happened to you. The same stuff we're talking about. You stopped responding to texts.
I did.
Right? Stop probably caring about all those things you cared about before. Change in behavior, something's up.
I did. Yep.
Gotta ask those questions. So
good topics today. I have some more DMs that we'll go over them next time. We'll be here on Friday, right? We're doing 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.
Yep.
And then
on Friday.
Yeah. And then again, if you have any questions, go ahead and send us the DMs with your questions. We do have emails that we'll post on our profile. So if you guys feel better emailing, I know it's like such a like barbaric thing now, but like, we have emails.
Yeah. And definitely. Yeah. And what she said, message me if you've got questions. I'll read them. I think I got through all mine as well. I know you've got some left.
I got like 2 left. Yeah. But we'll
do a better
Friday.
job. Yeah, we'll do a better job of getting to the DMs. It's just, I mean, shit, man. You get rolling on some topics, it snowballs sometimes into one thing and then into the other because it's all relevant. So you just want to touch up on it all. So but it was good. It was a good topic.
And we are on Spotify now, so you can listen to our episodes on Spotify. And then we do in our link trees. There are, if you want to watch the videos rather than listening, we are on YouTube, so you can catch all of our previous shows.
Yep. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks for being here, sir. I will see you on Friday.
See you guys later. Peace.
Bye.